Sorry about the echoing. I had no. Oops, what's going on here? What is going on with my screen? I had no intention of doing a stream right now because I'm about 30 minutes away from work kicking off, and what is going on? Hold on one second. Oh no. What is happening here? What is happening? Mixer is freaking out right now. I'm not sure what is happening. I'm trying to, yes, leave. Okay. I have no idea what is happening. Why is Mixer putting up an old video, not my new video? Give me a second. I'm going to figure out what the heck is going on. I'm seeing on my screen yesterday's video, and it's still doing it. Give me a second here, guys. Maybe I didn't hit stream. It says I'm streaming, so what the heck is going on? Let me go back to my dashboard for like the millionth time. It is not letting me pull up today's stream. Oh wait, here we go. I might actually have it working now. Yay! Okay. Sorry guys, a little technical difficulty. I'm not sure what happened. Anyways, I was not intending to do a show this morning. Things just worked out that way. Like I said, I was intending to save this information, but I've got about 30 minutes before I've got to go sign in to work. Or go open the doors, let my new employee in, all that jazz. So, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this video now, and we will just make do with what we got. So if you guys are missing this as a live show, it's okay. I'm going to be doing a lot of this stuff in the future. I'm also sorry about the volume if it is echoing in here. I have no way of fixing it because I'm at the F&P Wargamers studio, which I am a member of. That's what I'm doing with this channel. So bear with me. So let's get into this preview. Now, we said yesterday that the white scars were going to get dropped today, and so we're going to kind of go through and see what they've got in store for us. And if it's anything like what they've shown with the Ultramarines from yesterday, it's going to be pretty amazing. So we will hopefully see something pretty badass. I feel like we're not going to see everything that we want, but well, let's see. So I have a feeling I'm going to be slightly disappointed. I said before that I was kind of predicting probably about a 60% chance that we would see the white scars get in that reveal. We'd be seeing the Primaris bikers. Now, we've seen the cover art for novels. We've seen artwork, or I've seen at least artwork and some really early 3D renders, very similar to the ones that I said years ago was not Mortarion, and because they looked really bad. It looked like very amateurish, which I ended up having to eat crow on that one because it ended up being quite literally the 3D renders for Mortarion. Man, that was embarrassing. So I learned a lot from that lesson. Now, as we're scrolling through this, if we don't see the bikers yet, which I'm getting the impression we're not going to, just based off this first image of this release. If they were, that probably would have been the first thing they wanted to show us, but we still got more to scroll down, and I imagine some of you have already scrolled down and already know about my disappointment. That is probably going to happen. But as we know with Games Workshop, is they might be starting to work on something now, and it just doesn't fit in with their release schedule. It could be a financial thing. It could be, hey, we want to do a release later on in the year to kind of boost sales for one of these slow months. Like October and September are notoriously slow months for retail. And so, which I think that's why the Psychic Awakening is going to pop up around that time frame, end of September, early October, just to help floundering sales. And that's just a retail thing. It's not Games Workshop. It's retail across the board. So it could come then. It could come next year. It might not even come. They might have been like, you know what? We don't like this design concept. We're going to nix it for now, table it for later. And that very well could happen. So let's go ahead and keep scrolling down. If you know anything about the White Scars, they're a lightning fast attack style organization. They got a whole history, kind of think of like the Mongols, like Kublai Khan, or over in China, in Mongolia and stuff, these mass hordes of really fast lightning strikes, horse raiders, and all that kind of stuff. That is what you get with the White Scars. And I'm just going to look right here. It says featured status sheets for units unique to the White Scars, a Khan on a bike, which I talked about, and the Master of the Hunt, which is Besouro Khan. We know that he got a brand new upgraded model. He was not on a bike, so we know that there is a Khan on a bike coming. I'm sorry I'm getting my face up here close. I just want to look at this picture and see if there's any indication of a model in the background or anything. No, all I'm seeing is standard Space Marine bikes. Yeah, I am not seeing anything new, not a new Khan on bike. I don't see any new Primaris bikes. In fact, the only Primaris models I'm seeing are the ones right up here in the front. Looks like a small Intercessor Squad, Besouro Khan, of course, and the Primaris Librarian. They put a helmet on him instead of having his head bare like he does with a couple of the other chapters. I really don't see any other Primaris Marines. I wonder if that's an indication about White Scars not being a big fan of it or something. So anyways, there's the Codex Supplement cover. Cool. So first up, let's take a look. Rule that you need to keep in mind is a Devastating Charge. It's called, appropriately enough, Devastating Charge. This Assault Doctrine. So we talked about doctrines over the past few days, and their Assault Doctrine already gives you a -1 AP with your pistol and melee weapons. And you combine it with the Devastating Charge, now you're getting +1 damage, which is actually makes your basic Assault Marines and your Biker Marines even more lethal, especially that +1 damage in close combat. That is going to be awesome. So here it is. It looks like, this is one of their tactics. This is not even a side doctrine or anything that you have to activate, it looks like. So yeah, as long as you, if the unit made a charge or performed heroic intervention that turn, +1 damage. So if you keep that in mind with the Assault Doctrine we mentioned just now, which gives you the -1 AP, so now you're -1 AP, you're +1 damage in that assault phase, and you throw in that Shock Assault that we talked about over the past few days, and I think last week also. That Shock Assault gives you +1 attack in any turn that you've done a charge, been charged, or performed heroic intervention, which will come into play, with the Devastating Charge, since you've made a charge or heroic intervention. So now you're +1 attack, -1 AP, +1 damage. So now you've become increasingly more lethal than you were before, man. Space Marines are about ready to get this massive, badass drop. As we talked about before, these Codex Supplements are all going to get their own special stratagems. They're going to get some special tactics like the Devastating Charge that we just talked about, Warlord traits, looks like psychic powers, relics, and then a plethora of lore, and then of course special characters. We know at least Besouro Khan is going to be in there, and there's probably going to be the Khan on bike is probably going to be a very specific unit that only shows up in the supplement. It's a very clever way for Games Workshop to get people to buy these extra books. It's a very cool marketing I don't like it because I don't want to spend more money, but it's a cool marketing because it turns that one book that would actually probably need to be ginormous into smaller books. So if I don't care anything about White Scars, but I do Ultramarines, then I can focus on that. I don't have to flip through extra pages, and I get all this wealth of lore and all this extra special abilities. So it's really cool, but it's also it hurts in the pocketbook. So here's this looks like one of the Warlord traits. Trophy Taker. When the Warlord destroys an enemy character and model, add 1 to their attack characteristic until the end of the battle. There's a lot of armies out there that are running lots of characters. So, man, that with Shock Assault and there are already numerous attacks, that Warlord, especially if he's like a Smash Captain or whatever this Con on bike is going to be, you are going to be very badass in close combat. So it's something to think about, guys. Especially when you add in the Devastating Charge and the Assault Doctrines, or even just, the Assault Doctrines, and whatever special stratagems that they are going to get. This is really cool. I am so digging this. All right, so here's one of their first psychic powers. We've been seeing everybody's been getting their psychic powers. Lightning Call, kind of easy to pop off. Closest enemy unit within 18 inches suffers D3 mortal wounds. That's it. There's no rant. They might take it. No rolling the wound. Man, they just take the D3. If that unit is still alive. On a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. Then if that unit is still not destroyed, so it's a cascading. So it just keeps going. So you're able to get up to potentially 6 mortal wounds if you have not destroyed this unit, and you're rolling really well. That's really cool. I like that. I like those abilities where they're doing that kind of cascading. Hey, if you wound, try again, keep going until you get to that 6. Very similar to the Genestealer Cult's Onslaught, I think, or Mental Onslaught psychic power. That's really cool. So they're talking about, there's a little bit of background information there, the Vaults of Quan Zhou. That's a little bit of history that I think we're going to be reading in there. Here's one of their first relics, Psyker model only. When a test is taken with this relic, let me try this again. When a psychic test is taken for a model with this relic attempting to manifest a psychic power from the Storm-speaking discipline, so that's their very specific psychic power discipline that only the White Scars and their successor chapters are going to have, you add 1 to that total. That's actually really cool. That means it's going to be a lot easier to pop off this Lightning Call. And if they still have that Space Marine stratagem where you can use a psychic power in any psychic phase, and I forget what it is. I should have looked it up last night. I was talking about that last night. That is you got those Phobos librarians. You got one up close, up front. Man, you zap that off, and it's just like a free little, you got this badass unit that's coming to charge me. Well, let's go ahead and deal some mortal wounds in your psychic phase. So by the time that you get into assault range with me, you are now 1 to 6 models less, which could potentially cause them to lose combat or to run away and take more mortal wounds and everything. So that's a good psychic or a good relic. So here we are with Boiling the Saddle. This is one of the stratagems that I was talking about, the White Scar stratagem. As you can see right there, it says White Scar stratagem. So that's more to what they're going to be adding. I don't know how many stratagems there's going to be for each chapter. My guess is 3, upwards to 6 maximum, but I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be 3 per. I really think it's going to be about 3 per chapter. We'll see, though. We'll see. What does this do? Biker units use this when White Scar bikers advance. That unit can still shoot this turn. They can still shoot this turn. Add that in with Bolter Discipline and whatever Doctrine you have up. So now you're getting lots of long range shots, adding an extra -1 AP, or if you're using the Tactical Doctrine, or if you have a whole bunch of White Scar, what are they called? The heavy weapon bikes, the attack bikes. With heavy bolters and multi-meltas, you're rolling up and you got the the Devastator Doctrine activated, you could move up, advance, pop off some of that multi-melta or heavy bolter love, and start crippling your opponent, especially if you're rocking a lot of those attack bikes. That's pretty awesome. Then we're going to be rounding this out real quick here because I'm going to have to get to work. But then Besouro Khan, which since we're still not seeing a lot, I might actually end up dropping my bike theory now down to, I'm going to drop it all down to about 50%. Now that Khan on bike, I really don't know what's going on. It's still possible. I'll drop that one down to 60% chance that it's going to be a Primaris model on a bike, and they are just waiting to reveal this to us, maybe later on today or next week, especially when people get their hands on the Codex. I don't know, but it's not looking too good for the Primaris bikers. But that's okay, because we're going to get them eventually, I hope. So looking at Besouro Khan here real quick. Same thing, the boy got another wound, he got another attack, so he's pretty beefy. 5 attacks, 6 wounds, everything else is the same as we would expect. Let's see here, he also makes an extra special attack in close combat combined with new shock assault rules. That's 6 attacks a turn. If he's charged, he's charging or perform a heroic intervention. You add in the devastating charge, so now keep that in mind, and you add in the devastate or the whatever, if you have an assault doctrine activated right now. That's where we're going to get into Fang, which everybody knows is his signature blade. Let's see if he's got it. Yeah, it's right there. It's not a Talwar, a Talwar, I forget what it's called, but that could, I'm not sure what that is, what type of sword that is. But so Fang, plus 2 strength, so now he is a strength 6, minus 3 AP. So remember that if you have that assault doctrine up, guys, he's now minus 4 AP on any turn that he charged, was charged, or performed a heroic intervention. So strength 6, minus 3 or minus 4, and then D3 damage. Remember the devastating charge where he did a heroic intervention or a charge? That's now D3 plus 1 damage. So already more lethal. And let's see here, when resolving attacks made with this weapon against a character unit, you can re-roll the wound roll and you can re-roll the damage roll. Holy crap. That is going to be a very brutal weapon against a lot of models. Now, I mean, are you going to want to charge a knight with that? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, unless it's a desperation move. I doubt I would charge a knight, but against most infantry and most characters, oh hell yes, I would go after that, especially that in that first phase of the devastating charge, because already being a captain, he's going to have that aura where he gets to reroll ones, and if they have that stratagem where he can be upgraded to a chapter master, he's going to reroll I think all misses. Don't quote me on that, I can't remember that stratagem. And then, so reroll ones or misses. He's already hitting on a 2+, so he's very likely going to be hitting with all 6 attacks on the charge. Remember the shock assault. So all 6 attacks. He's more than likely going to be wounding on 3s or 4s, unless you're going after like a demon prince or a greater demon. And then now you're going to run into some problems, only wounding on 5, so you're going to drop down in your percentages. But still, 6 attacks. Let's say it's against somebody of equal toughness, or that's toughness 6. Let's say, or toughness 5, like a Custodes, or any of the higher toughness HQs that you might face. So now you're wounding still on 3s or 4s, and it's on that turn of that charge, you get 6 of those attacks, you're probably going to end up hitting with all of them. Maybe miss out on 1 because of 6, look at the percentages, but with the reroll and the more likely you're going to hit with all your attacks, because the chances of you rolling a 1 are going to be pretty slim. I think 17% chance with 6 attacks. So you might have one, and then you're going to re-roll that because he's a captain. So now he's very likely, I mean, the percentage drops even more, that he's going to roll another 1. Still possible. So 5 to 6 attacks, strength 6, minus 4 on that charge, and then D3 plus 1 damage because of the devastating charge. And if for some reason you don't wound, now that percentage is going to go, now you're going to have that extra chance because you did not wound him. You get to re-roll that wound. So more than likely, you're going to wound with, I'm going to say, about 4 attacks, depending. And then re-roll the damage roll. So if you know you're going to roll crappy, roll that 1 or a 2, because it's on a D3, it's a 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6 for a 1, 2, and 3. So more than likely, you're going to get about 3 wounds total with that +1 off of him in close combat. So he's going to be good, I think, for clearing out chaff and kind of low-end character models, and then you throw in whatever special abilities he might have. And then he's got that hunting hawk he's got on there. When this model is chosen to shoot with it in your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit that is not a vehicle and is within 12 inches of this model. Roll a d6. On a 4+, that unit suffers a mortal wound. So that's just kind of... Oh, so you can do this... when this model is chosen to shoot in your shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit. So with him having that, unless that model is considered a unit, that hawk, I don't think it is, he can sit there and get a free snipe attack. So he can shoot with probably a bolt pistol or plasma pistol, and then snipe with Anzook, whatever. This hunting hawk. So that's pretty freaking cool. So I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more, but I'm not hopeful that there's going to be biker, Primaris bikers, unless they are saving it for next week's reveals. They might want to kind of like draw it out and let us, salivate here, because we still haven't seen the suppressors. So the suppressors, we haven't seen they haven't gone over the detail of the Phobos Lieutenant, and we know that they'll be doing the Phobos Librarian from the Shadow Spear box, and probably that Phobos Captain. So they're all probably going to be showing up next week with the suppressors, and we might still see those bikers next week. I just felt I'm going to drop that percentage chance big time, because I felt like this was the perfect opportunity to reveal it. But it's also kind of interesting that they're not mentioning, or they have not shown off the Khan on bike, unless, oh no, there's a hyperlink. I think that's what they're called. I'm going to click on it. Oh man. Well, I think our percentages just dropped big time. Khan on bike and the Master of the Hunt. So we know Khan on bike is going to be in the White Scars Codex supplement. I'm afraid to click on this, but well, there goes the percentage chance. I'm glad I said that I was dropping that percentage of there being a Khan on bike that was Primaris. I think everything is, I'm still going to put a percentage out there, but we're going to put about a 25% chance now of Primaris bikers, guys, because here is the Khan on bike that they're talking about. Oh, man, that hurts. Oh, gosh darn it, Games Workshop. It's an old model. You should have made Primaris bikers. Bah! We saw the artwork. We've seen it. It's on the cover of a book. Okay. Well, that's probably going to be it for the show, guys. Sorry to leave it on this disappointing thing. My only hope is that they have upgraded this model, or this unit, to have something really special tailored for White Scars, besides like devastating charge. Maybe he's got some special ability for being on a bike or something. Man, that is very, very sad. I'm going to do one double check here just in case it's hidden. Man, I don't even see any other Primaris Marines except for what's down here in the front. Yeah, because up in the back row I see Scouts, Assault Marines. Those are regular Marines down there at the back. Below those Assault Marines, those are all bikers, and looks like, yeah, regular Assault Marines, because there's a guy with a missile launcher back over here. There's nothing hidden. And up here, charging those old school Terminators. Are those old school Terminators? They look like the old school Terminator. Nope, no, they're not. Those are the new Chaos Space Marine Terminators. There's the Khan on bike. So the only Primera stuff is down here in the front. It's a single squad of 10, it looks like 10 intercessors with Besouro Khan, the librarian, and the Primera's repulsor. Gosh dang it, guys. I am so sorry. So disappointed. Oh well. You know what? The book hasn't dropped yet. We still got another week of reveals, and we'll probably actually see a couple reveals this weekend. And if Mr. and Mrs. Smith stay true to form, I will have information this weekend, and I'm betting sometime after the Codex goes live for pre-order. So I think that is going to be the show, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure if you're coming back on, my next show is going to be 5 o'clock on Sunday, and we're going to be kind of doing a weekend review. I'm going to show you probably a couple paint schemes that I'm testing out, and my studio might be set up. So, and I might have a special guest live streaming. We're actually going to tinker around with that today. So we might have another show today of us doing a test run. So watch my show at 5 p.m. Central. Hit the follow button. Pass the word to your friends. Because for every 100 followers that I get, I'm going to have a prize giveaway. I'm going to reach into Narnia, which is my spare room that's being turned into the studio, or my pantry where there is no food except for a couple bottles of wine. It is jam-packed full of bits, sprues, tons of new and product stuff from Cool Mini or Not, Ninja Division, Corvus Belly for Infinity, of course, tons of Games Workshop stuff, and a variety of other stuff. I'm not going to go make the full list here, but it's all new in box stuff. So every 100 followers that I get unlocks a new prize, and I'll do a random drawing and we'll get it shipped out. Or if you're local here in Houston, we'll meet up and I'll hand it off to you, get maybe a picture taken, go, hey guys, that sort of thing. So 100 followers, help me get 100 followers. Every 100 followers up to 2,000, we're going to do a prize. I've got that much prize support available. So help me out. Girlfriends, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. I try to keep the show nice and clean. I occasionally might say a bad word, but it's still PG-13 for the most part. So I'm going to log off because I got 5 minutes before I got to start work. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you later.